Hello, I'm Raylene Brown from Coongas Can Cook. You know me, I've been cooking with bush tucker for a long time now, and just lately I'm wanting to learn more and more about bush tucker, and I've heard about value chains. So I'd like to know a little bit more about them. We're at Desert Knowledge CRC talking together about what we know about bush tomatoes, and some of the Wild Harvest ladies draw pictures so that we will understand how the wild harvesters pick the bush tomatoes out on country and then clean them and bring them back to their community in bags and buckets. Then the women call one of the wholesalers to let them know that they have bush tomatoes or wattle seed to sell. The wholesaler travels out to the community, he weighs the bush tomatoes, works out the cost, and then pays the ladies and takes the fruit back to his business. The wholesalers wash and dry and pack the bush tomatoes into parcels and transport off to the different buyers. But there are some people like Ruth and Max out at Rainbow Valley who grow several hundred cudgeta plants or bush tomato plants in a small area of land, and they pick it all by hand, and they choose to sell direct to the buyers and not through the wholesaler. I think we might need to meet some of the people that work along the bush tomato value chain. What do you reckon, you mob? So here we go, we're flying off to Brisbane, and we're going off to meet with Dale Chapman first. She's got a business that's the Gumnut Bistro in Pomona. And as soon as we arrive in Brisbane, we notice it's cold and rainy. The ladies are quite surprised to see all the rain. They're rugged up and they're cruising along on their little trolley here. They got a lift, lucky buggers. So we're off down the freeway in peak hour traffic. And here's Dale Chapman. She's cooking us up wallaby shanks with a bush tomato sauce and a lemon myrtle mash. And she's also going to talk to us about what she does in her business and how hard it's been for her to keep going in the bush feeds industry as well, and trying to educate other people about bush tucker in Queensland.
I think it's a lot to work in partnership with non-Indigenous businesses, and that's the way that we're going to grow together as a community and to get bigger and better, by sharing the knowledge and sharing the capital and the resources and those infrastructure.
And the ladies are here now. They're going to share their story about what the bush tucker means to them and how they harvest it and how they look after country and how they pick their bush tomato and wattle seed and sell it to the wholesalers. And they're showing Dale how they process the bush tomato. And Ruth is also letting them know too about her little farm. So we're actually sharing stories here about different bush tuckers.
One of the big problem is that farmers, which I'm a farmer now, are price takers. We get what somebody else is willing to pay us. And the only way we can be more price makers is if we take control of more of the production beyond just where it's grown or where it's collected.
So it's still raining. We're going to get blown away. Me and Bess are just about getting blown off the cliffs there. We're back at the airport again, and we're heading off to Melbourne. Up in the sky again. It's been a big day for the ladies. And we arrive in Melbourne, and we're heading off to try and find our car. Oops, Murray just caught Biddy on the escalator there. It's all a bit strange, this new technology. The ladies are finding it a bit hectic in the city. So now we're heading off to visit Robbins Foods, which is about a half-hour drive from where we're staying, going along another mad, hectic freeway again and seeing trains and factories and all kinds of things. So we've arrived at Robbins, and she's happy to see us all, and especially that to actually make connection with some of the people that are harvesting the bush tucker for her and making it into chutneys. She's going to show us around her factory, and we have to put on these special hats so none of our hair falls into her lovely recipes, and our special jackets, and we all have a little giggle about what we look like, but
Here is some bush tomato chutney. The last 40 cartons in the in the world. This product is a very important product for us. This is the most popular, we call this bush tomato chutney. This is the most important product for us that we make. This one, we sell more of this than any other product anywhere. And so at the moment, with no Kudjara for us, we're very bad. It's very sad.
Julie's actually showing us now some of the other bush tuckers that are available and that she makes different products out of. So she sources bush tucker from all over Australia. So it's not just coming from the desert, it's coming from all over Australia. There's all different kinds of foods that are sent into her factory to be made into products. And she's explaining to the ladies now about all the packaging and all the different varieties and all the different spices that they make. And I think this is all new to the ladies, so they're very excited and they're looking at the different products and maybe looking at ways that they might want to cook with it when they get home. So it's been really good to share this information.
Tell me if it's any good.
Strong.
They're all amazed by the smell of it.
It's the lemon myrtle. Have a smell.
And they've got ground lemon myrtle as well. This is some of the products that I use in my kitchen at Kungas. It's a lovely product. It comes from Queensland.
This is Ian Robbins, my business partner.
Hi, how you going?
So Julie's taking us in now to where they actually produce the chutneys and products and showing us all the machinery, and we realise it is a really big operation. It's the bush tomatoes come a long way from the desert and it's ending up in this big factory, and it's the smells are very strong in here. They've got all different things cooking up and the ladies are really amazed at it all. They can't believe this. Their Kudjara comes all the way here to be made into jams and chutneys. Lots of big pots of chutneys. And how the machinery all works. The conveyor belts, all things that are automated. It's a lot different to how the ladies work in the bush. And now we're going off to Mackenzie's. They're another big company in Australia that manufacture lots of spices and all different products that go onto all the big shopping centres. And we're all tasting now the lovely jams and chutneys. And I think it's a bit of a hit with the ladies. They think it's pretty good tucker, this stuff.
It's really a full-time job to manage the account in the supermarket. So Anthony's buzzing around and so we will now get Anthony, if you like, Anthony would like to meet the ladies.
And that's over to me. All right, well look, as it's been briefly covered off, I look after Coles and Woolworths, so basically all the major supermarkets I look after Outback Spirit. You know, space is probably one of the most important things for us, to be able to get the product on shelf at the right height so that it's pretty much at eye level. We've recently just heard from one of the buyers who looks after, like say, the sauce and chutney area. They've gone through and done what they call a range review. So they look at everything on the shelf, work out what is selling and what isn't selling, and then if it's not selling, they delete it. So they'll take it off the shelf.
Take it away.
So
No
it's
more for sale.
Yep, no longer available for people to buy. And that's where it's important for us that we make sure that we've got all the products on the shelf so that we can actually sell them.
It's really important for us to have continuity of supply of all the raw materials, be it the ingredients, the actual jars itself, the cartons, the labour, everything. We must have plenty of that available.
Yep. And I think probably one of the most topical, for me and discussions I've had with Coles recently is this product here, bush tomato chutney. It is doing exceptionally well. Yeah, it's fantastic. Very good.
Successful product.
Yeah, everyone likes it. We sell heaps of it, and then what we need to be able to do is be able to put more product on the shelf. And what we're finding is obviously with the supply of bush tomatoes, it's very limited. So then what I have to try to do is make sure that where this sits on shelf, it doesn't get taken away so that we can never sell it anymore. So what we've done in the short term is actually come up and we make new products. So we come up with a different variant so that we can keep the same thing on the shelf. So what we've now done is come up with just a plain tomato but using other indigenous ingredients to make sure that we keep that one spot on shelf.
We're off to Coles now. We're at a shopping centre in Melbourne where the manager is going to show us now where the products end up and when the customers are actually buying it off the shelf. So Julie's showing us now the range of products that she produces through her company and Wards Mackenzie, and we're quite surprised at how many bush tucker jars and bottles and things that are on the shelf. We didn't realise there were so many there, and it's great to see that, so that now when we go into our local Coles supermarket we can have a look around for some of these products. And Julie's explaining how, you know, it's taken her a long time to get that many spaces on the shelf. And it's quite exciting to see now that how the kudjara now is sitting on the shelf there and the jars all pretty and labelled up, and how we, some of us we're consumers ourselves when we go in and buy these things off the shelf. The kudjara's come a long way, that little kudjara, and showing us now that how important it is and that we keep harvesting and that we keep getting that bush tomato. And I think we're going to buy some jars to take home. Look, we're loading up. Anyone think we never had a Coles shop in Alice Springs? But oh goodness me, we've got biggest mob there. There's lots of spices available as well that they've mixed up and put the bush tucker into, so they're nice to put on meats and all kinds of things. And now we're at Chinabi. It's a special bush tucker restaurant in Melbourne. It's a flash restaurant. Carolyn Briggs is the owner of the restaurant and she is a Koori woman. Chinabi specialises in using bush ingredients and showing them to visitors from all around the world. The food is wonderful and everyone is amazed at just how far their traditional foods have come. Okay, so now we've been on this big story trail, the value chain story. We're going to now put it all together to show everybody where we went and what we did, so it's easier for everybody to understand. So I want to start with the really important people, and this is our harvesters. So we're going to put them in the value chain first up. So we've got our ladies, our buckets and our kudjara. All this kudjara comes from, this is where it all starts. But in that value chain we also got to remember that we have other people that are the growers. So we've got to put them in there as well. And we're all heading down that same track. So once the ladies have done their harvesting, the wholesaler's been out and he's taking it back to town. So we then need to put the wholesalers in the picture. So he's going to package them up. He's going to weigh them, and he's got a big shed also that he's storing all the stuff in. Once he's finished his job, he then puts it in another little truck that heads off to another big factory. So we've got to put in our manufacturers and our processors now. So they've got a larger place where they turn all the kudjara, the wattle seed, the spices and all kinds of things into products. So we've got these people working in the factory and they're also going to pack it into packages as well. And they're going to put it into a bigger truck. So here we go, we've got our big road train there. People, I'm pretty sure we all know about our road trains. And they're sending it off now to our supermarkets and shops. So we've got our supermarket, our trolleys and all the mad cars around everywhere. And also there's another place where they go. It also goes, we must remember, the restaurants. Remember Dale? We visited Dale and Chinabi. There are other places that buy bush tucker. So we're going to put them in the picture now, because they sometimes buy big jars. They don't want to buy little ones like we do. They want to buy big jars. So the manufacturer does jars for our customers and for restaurants and catering businesses like myself. And then we have our customers. Okay, so here we are. There's the customers. This is where when we're at the shops, we buy the foods, and it ends up in our homes, on our shelves, in our fridges, and cooking up a storm with it all. So that's the story of the bush tomato value chain and the wattle seed value chain, really, because that's our two main products that come from the desert. And I've hoped that I've actually now understand, and the ladies understand, we know what happens with all our bush tucker when it heads off down the track into jars, and actually it might do a big U-turn and come back, end up in our own little shop again. So it did a big journey. So it's been a big education for us all, and we all understand now about the bush tomato value chain.